Hello, Katarzyna from Langlion here. I hope that you can hear me and you can see me. I'm really happy that you found some time to join me today for this webinar. We will talk today about how you can prepare yourself for this new school year to have this year really awesome and calm and effective. So I hope that we will give you some extra ideas and tools to do this. I'm really sorry that we had to move this meeting from last Friday, but unfortunately I had my second COVID and I don't recommend it to anyone. But I think that we can just work at the moment and start talking about preparation for the new school year. So I know it's a very difficult time of the year for a lot of you because probably some of you had summer courses and now you have to quickly move and jump to prepare yourself for this new school year. And I'm really curious, who are you teaching and where are you from? So if you can write down this in the chat box, I will have this feeling that we know each other a little bit better. I'm here in Warsaw. We had extremely hot August and it's first a little bit colder day, so it's really nice in here. And okay, so okay, we have Spain. Thank you. Now I see that someone is there, except from me. And yeah, I'm really interested whether you have company courses, individual classes, adults, or do you mix it all? Because it's very, very interesting for us. And of course, during this presentation, this webinar, you can, in the chat box, you can put questions too. And if your question is very specific, or if you want to contact with me directly, or if you want to schedule a meeting, then you can write me at kate@langlion.com. My name is quite difficult, so I made it a bit more international. And yes, so I won't be able to see your questions during the presentation, but I will take a few breaks to look at them. Okay, we have France, we have Spain, that's great, and Poland too, fantastic. And if you want more information about Langlion, you can go also to our website. So now I will show you our website, and while we are waiting for some people who might still join us, and then we will go to the system and to the presentation. So okay, give me just a second. I will share my screen. Okay. Okay, I hope that it's visible. So if you want to contact with us, you can go to langlion.com and select just an English version of the system if it's your language. And you can go to contact and you can find all the details in here. If you write to one of those addresses, then I will definitely see this information, or one of my colleagues. And you can also, if you want more information about Langlion, you can check what is Langlion, but I would also like to invite you to our blog, because there is a place where you can find a lot of information, not only about our system and updates, but also how to market your school in the internet, how you can use online tools to advertise. You can download some useful ebooks, and you can read some interesting stuff about, for example, how to raise the price in your school without losing clients, etc. You can also join us on our social media. So we have a Facebook account and Instagram. And for example, on Facebook, we have also some groups like the Language School Owner group, where you can talk with each other, and people from all over the world. They share their problems, and they look for solutions together. So it might be really, really useful. So Give me a second. Okay. So for those of you who are new to our platform, you might ask, what is Langlion? For those of you who are already working with us, I hope that it will be still quite interesting. We are on the market for 10 years, and Langlion is a comprehensive tool for school management. And because we are on the market for so long, we have a lot of experience from working with so many clients and listening to them. We always try to adjust the system to fulfill your needs. The system is cloud-based. That means that you don't need to download the program. You just need to have computer and access to internet, and you can start working on your school. That is very important because you don't have to update the system. It's all on our site. We have a few language versions of the system. So if you have native speakers in your school, they can use their mother tongue, or they can use the language that they feel the most comfortable with. So we have English, German, French, Spanish, Polish, and Russian version. And of course, the list is not final because, as I said, we constantly work and develop and contact with people from different countries. So, as I said, it is a comprehensive tool for language school management. So it is a place, and that's how it can make your life a lot easier, because it's one place for everyone. So there's a place for a student. So if you teach children, as I saw some of you are teaching children, then there's also a possibility to combine an account of the child with an account of a parent. So a parent can check attendance, grade, progress, etc. If you teach company courses. If you have company courses, then there's an account for the student from these companies, but also the HR person, for example, from this company, they can be the so-called parent, and they also have their account, and they can check attendance, progress, and whether the employees are really using these courses for which they are paying. The system is also module built. You can probably see it. We will go to the system in a second. So you can decide how intensively you would like to use the system, and you can start only with basic modules, for example, and then decide that you want to test some other modules. So basic modules are Secretariat and the Gradebook, but you can always test systems, other modules for 14 days for free. And the system is also will allow you to manage your department. So if you have more than one school, then you can have one account, and you can have different departments. So you can manage your whole company in this system. So we will go to the presentation, the system and ideas how you can make your life easier. Because we want to give you these ideas to have more headspace this year and less time spent on paperwork. So as you can see, this is our system, and I'm logged in as an admin now, but we will also log in as a teacher and as a student, because I want to show you how they can use the system and how they can work, because they will be able to do a lot of things on their own, so that you will save a ton of time because of that. So first place we will go to is Secretariat. So there is a place where you can introduce those all participants of teaching learning process in your school. So first of all, you have this place where you can have information about all your students who participate in classes at the moment. And you, as I said, you can also have this combined account with parents. There is a place to introduce teachers to the system, and I will also show you some useful, very useful things for settlements, for example, payrolls of the teachers. If you have classes on site, there's a place to introduce your rooms and capacity of those rooms, which again will be important during the scheduling process. If you have company courses, we have special tab for company courses, and from this level you will be able to manage payments, and you will be also able to assign students. So there's also a place for users, and users we call your employees who work for you. And as you can see, you can also give them different kind of permissions. So you can give them permission to the whole system, and you can also deny them access to some areas of the system. And in this module, we also have a hidden another module. It's online teaching and online lesson, because the system will allow you to integrate with a few online lesson providers. So here we have Zoom, Click Meeting, Citrix, GoToMeeting, or Big Blue Button. And if you use another provider, you can have permanent links. So you can use this meeting link. For example, if you use Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. So what does this tool do for you? This online teaching will save you from sending links to the meeting. You don't have to answer a ton of questions from students. Where is my link? Please send me again. Because they will simply log into Langlion and they will have join button. And if they click it, they will be simply redirected to the lesson. So as you can see, it's much easier. And for the teacher, it will be the same. The teacher will only click join button, start the lesson, and in this way save you, hopefully, a lot of time. And we also have this new function. It's email notification. So the student can have an email notification about upcoming lesson 1 hour before, and from this this level they can click just join, and they also can start their lesson. So now when you know where you can put all those information, you can go to groups. And it's a heart, we call it a heart of the system, and you can also risk saying is the heart of Langlion, so the heart of the lion. But joking, my bad joking aside, you can click. This is a place where you create schedule of your school, and the system will do a lot of things automatically for you. So hopefully it will save you a lot of time. So during this presentation, we will create one group, and let's call it webinar. Okay. And the system will allow you to create different type of groups. For the purpose of this presentation, we will have group classes with a set number of lessons and a set price, some defined price, and the student will pay in installments. But you can also use the system for individual classes and company classes. If you select company classes, then you will be able to assign this to the company in the next step. So it group classes. You don't have to put the price of the course. It will be a part of automatization. So wait a second for that. A type of enumerating classes, we will say select according to the number of lessons. A number of classes, let's say it's 40. Percentage or standard evaluation type. You can define it for your school. I will stick with percentage. Default lesson duration, in my case it's 60, you can change it. We will put the start date, and we don't have to put the end date because the system will count it for us. And default type of settlement. as I said, we can have different type. We will select for all classes because this is the course with defined number of hours, and this type of payment for all classes. But you can also have a settlement hourly or hourly payment in advance. And now the fun begins, because default payment scheme. You don't have to. I will go for a second to another tab, because in financial module, in settings, you can create payment schemes. And that means that you can create a rule that you can assign to different groups in what way students will pay you. So not only you can use it for different groups, but also if you assign students, they will have automatically assigned this payment scheme. So I have 4 installments, and I will go back to creating a group. So we have default payment scheme, is that, and another useful tool, agreement template. Again, I will go to another tab, because in the Secretariat, we have this Documents tab. And here is a place where you can create different templates of documents. In this case, you can use your standard student contract. You copy and paste it. And you can put the logo of your school on top, for example, and instead of filling the gaps on your own, you just simply use those variables from here. And if you put them in different places in the agreement, you can even have installment payment scheme assigned, added to this agreement. And what's more, you can mark this agreement with the student as e-document. So the student can sign this in the system on their own account, or if there's a child, the parent can sign it in the system. So it will save you chasing, reminding students to return the agreement, to sign the agreement. You don't have to store it, so it will save you valuable office space. And overall, probably make your life much easier, because when they sign it, they will receive this this document in an email, and you will have this confirmation in the system too. So we have agreement template, and I've selected it. We click next. So now we select our students. You can filter those students here. For example, if it's company courses, you can select the name of the company from which you would like to have students. But in my case, I will just select some random one. And we click Save and Close. Okay. And now we have our group, we have our student, and as you can see, they have this payment scheme assigned, and it's time for class generator. So you probably know when you would like to have those classes. So let's say it's Wednesday, and let's say it's at 12. Okay. So now we have our lesson on Wednesday, and the system can check for you who is available at this moment to conduct those classes. So if you mark in the system that you would like to check availability of teachers, then you can also select availability of rooms, for example, and some other features. Then the system will only show you those teachers who don't have classes at this hour. Let's say it's teacher. And now, in the system, you can introduce different rates that you would like to assign to this teacher. So you can select regular or bonus, or you can have different rates depending on the duration of the lesson. Maybe on weekends you pay more or something like that. So if you introduce it, then the system will also count how much you should pay your teachers at the end of the month. So we have our teacher, we have a rate, we can select room if it's on site, and if it's not on site, you can select a lesson, that the lesson is available online, and you can select online lesson provider. You can have different online lesson providers depending on classes, but we will stick with Zoom. Okay, and we have Wednesday. Okay, we have everything. Save and close. And we can also, if you want to have those classes more than one, you just select add classes, and you can copy settings from the previous one. Still, we will check availability of teachers. A teacher is available. Oh, I forgot to change the date. I'm sorry about that. So we will now check availability of the teacher. Okay, the teacher is still available, so we stick with that teacher. And save and close. So now we defined when we want to have those classes, but we have to generate classes. I would say that it's like you spread those lessons in the calendar. So if there is a day off or some national holiday, and if you introduce it to the system, the system will skip this date. So you don't have to count when, yes, we want to generate, when the course should end, because you will have this information in here. And you have a list of all your lessons in here. And this blue icon means that the lesson is available online. This is always also a place where you can manage your classes and your groups, because here you can have different lesson statuses. These are mine, but you can also have, you can also create your own. So for example, if the lesson is covered, you can click it and select another teacher who can substitute for our teacher, John. Yes. And you can change a rate for this teacher, and you will have this notification that something was, lesson was modified. So there's another teacher who will have this lesson. As you can see, also the rate, how much you should pay your teacher, it will be assigned to another person. You can also cancel the lesson. So if you cancel the lesson, the system will automatically ask you to generate classes. If you do this, the system will, so as you can see, the whole course ends later, because automatically the system will add this final lesson as a next lesson in the course. If you don't want to do this, you can add simply a single class to this lesson, or you want to have some different arrangement with the group. So there's a lot of options, but what's important, the system will always remember how many lessons you want to have in this course. So it will take it from your head a little bit. And now we will go to our students whom we assigned in here. And as you can see, they have assigned payment scheme. And we will go to the student, but you always can do it from a student's tab too, but it will be easier for me to do this that way. So we have our student, and he has payments. And as you can see, those payments are assigned. So when the student pays you for classes, then you can mark it in the system. There are also some more automatic way, but I will show you that how you can do this. So we have this group webinar, and for example, he only paid you for the first installment. So we click save, and you can have different payment form. I have cash, so it's marked as paid, and we simply click save. So it is already marked as paid. So in our transactions, we have that it was paid. So maybe you would like to issue an invoice to the student. Sometimes we have this need. So we have all those information already in here. It is paid, and we have all. Of course, there are some options that you can add description, but we will simply click save. And now we have our invoice, and you can do different things with this invoice. So you can print it, or you can send it to this person from just simply by clicking, and it will be sent as an attachment. So yes, we've sent this invoice to the student. You will also have this information in the financial module on the transactions and invoices in here. But now we will stay in this place because I would like to show you a few other things in the Secretariat that can be very helpful. So we will go quickly to companies. Because as you can see, you introduce, if you have company courses, you just introduce those information about companies in here. And you have students who are assigned to this company. And if there's this kind of situation that the student participate in the price of the course, they paid some part of the price, then you can mark it in the system. So that can be some percentage or some amount of money that they will pay for each classes if you have hourly settlement. And you can manage it from the market in here, and then in payments you can settle both the company for day parts and students as a regular student. You can also settle them. And there is a department tab that might also be very useful, because if you teach in a very big company, and for example, they have different departments, and each department has its own budget for these courses, then they might require different settlements and different invoices, for example. So you can actually, in payments, you have different type of settlement. Usual, you will just take every student from this company for some period, and you will have a settlement, and you can create an invoice too. But if you decide to have a cross charge, that means that you will have those students from different departments, and you will have the price for each department in proportion of how many students they have. Then you can create different, even create invoices for different billing data, or maybe they have the same, but you will have them ready for this company. If they have the same billing data, but they have different budgets from the different departments, then they will be probably very grateful for dividing this cost. Okay, and two more things in the Secretariat. It's a teacher tab, where you can have, we will stick with our John teacher, and in classes, you can mark some dates. Let's say it's for September, and you can print settlement. So you will have this document. I hope it will be visible for you. Yes, it should be visible. You will have this document where you will have all the classes this teacher had, and with those annotation about statuses. So if the class was cancelled, as you can see, this teacher got nothing for that. If he covered for someone, then he earned some extra money. So you will have this total amount of that he earned in this case. that I think can save you a lot of time, especially if there are some cancellations and changes. And as I said before, the system is also a tool for communication with everyone. So first of all, in the system, we have 3 levels of communication. The first one is our notifications. So in here, you have a list of system events, and you can define whether you would like to inform your students about them or not. So you can select that you just don't want to inform them about substitution, but you also can inform them in the system notification. That means that they will see this in the system, or they can see this, will receive it as an email or text message. That extra paid actually, but emails are not. So in the communication tab, you can also, you will have system messages, but you can also create a mailing. So in here you can select from address book those people to whom you would like to send. Maybe these are groups or some students you can, or teachers, parents, you can select to whom you would like to send this mailing. And before we take a short break to check your questions, we will also log in as a teacher and then log in as a student. So we will go back to the teachers and we will log in as this teacher. So this is a teacher account, and as I said, he or she, they will see a join button to online lessons. So as I said, you will save a lot of time thanks to the fact that you won't have to send links to meetings. And I will show you only the most interesting, in my opinion, parts, but there are much more in the system. So okay, in the groups or on in other parts of the system, you can select a group, and there is this briefcase icon, and you can click on it, and you will see that you can add notes about students. So I know from talking with some of you that some, for example, if there are company courses, companies requires notes sometimes after each lesson, and sometimes they just want to have this descriptive opinion at the end of the course or after some period of time. So the teacher can add a notification, and then, for example, you can print this descriptive opinion, and so you don't have to do this at the end of the year when you and your teacher are probably most busy. And it can also make communication much easier because, for example, this person from the HR of some company, they can check it, or a parent can check it. So it can be it can improve those communication areas. So another part are in the system. We will go to classes for a second on the teacher account. And here you can see the classes this teacher has in August, actually. And let's say we will go to this final class on Tuesday. So there's a place where the teacher can put information about subject, homework, some tests. So you will know what they did. The parent, the teacher, they will all know about these details of the classes. They can attach files if you use this function of our system, and they can also check attendance. It's very easy because if you have a lot of people in the group, there's only one button they have to click, and if someone was absent, there is another button, but they only click it for this one person. And they can also, if you allow your teacher, they can also manage their schedule. So, for example, if they have individual classes, they can, for example, and there's a need to change the date of these classes, they can do this. They can also use a status of the lesson, and if the class was cancelled, they can mark it so you would be able to see it. They can add a class, as I said, when there's a need to have some, for example, individual class or make some kind of arrangements. And the system will also be a tool for communication for them too. They can send messages in the system. They can select to whom, as they have address book, to whom they would like to send those messages. And I think that's the most important, interesting at this moment of the year information. So yeah, we will log out from this teacher account. Okay, and I promised you the student account, so we quickly go to one of our students. Okay, this is a student account. And as you can see, the student, again, they have online button for their next online classes, for the next class actually. And they simply click this join button and they're redirected to online lesson provider. They can also sign this contract that we've created when we were creating our group. As you can see, they have even this installment plan, and they can simply sign it. Okay, and now it's in documents, but it is already signed. And you can also, if you use some apps during lessons, like Kahoot, for example, you can also make this connection in the system. So the student will simply click Kahoot or some other app, and they will be redirected, and there's no need to dictate the address, and you will avoid all the mess during the lesson to show students to use different tools. They will also have a list of their classes, and if there are some changes, as you can see, they have this cover and they see that there's a different teacher, for example. In here that the class was cancelled. They can also use the system to communicate, so they can create a message, and they just select. They simply select some of teachers or group members that they want to send a message, and they can also use it to monitor their payments, because as you can see, they can see that they paid for this installment, they should pay for another installment. If you decide to use online payments, they can even pay from this directly from this tab to you. And they can also use our app. So we have both for Android and iOS. We have our apps that you can download for free, and they can download it and they can use it. Okay, so we will close this window, and for a second I will stop sharing and I will go and check a chat box for a second. Okay. Give me just a second. Okay, there are some, Natasha signed that Langlion doesn't have the online lesson tab. Okay, we will check it. So if you can contact with us directly, that would be great. So you can use one of those. You can send me an email at kate@langlion.com, but you can also write to our support, and you will find all those contact information on our website. Okay. I think that they are very specific, so we will try to answer them directly. And if you could send us this information about this, because there are some very specific questions. So Okay, so probably it would be best to talk directly about those issues that you have. So if you could write me an email or contact on our website to the contact emails on our website, it doesn't really important to whom you will ask, then we will answer it directly. We are really, it's really easy to get in touch with us. Okay, so now I will go to the presentation again for a second. Okay, you should be able to see my screen again, because there are two more things I would like to talk about. And there is a registration module that you might find very useful at this moment of the year, because there's this moment when people sign up for classes and you can use our registration module on your website, or you can just simply use a link. But before we go to registration, you can combine the registration process with entry-level tests. So in another module, in e-learning, you can create a test. So I will show you how this test looks. It's extremely easy for the purpose of this presentation, but you can use more sophisticated questions with filling gaps, with some open questions, or using YouTube video or something more difficult. But what's important, the system will check those answers for you, except of course from open questions. But you can combine this test with registration. As you can see in my forms, I have this entry-level test attached to English language, and you can also define transition threshold, where the student will answer, and if they reach this threshold, they will see another test. So you can really test them at this already at this level. So you can define all kind of things in this registration process, but the most important parts are forms. So you have fields that you want to define that the student should feel while they are during the registration process. And and there are some of them are visible, some of them are required. You can use our form fields, but you can also create your own form fields. And you will have two types, this registration in two types of code. Sorry. So there's JavaScript code and HTML code, and you can embed it into your website. But you can also use this link. For example, if you have company courses, and so this HR person can distribute this link among their employees, and they can easily sign up to your classes. They will choose the name of the company, so you will have them as new students, and you will be able to easily assign them to the company courses. Okay, I will try to show you. I hope it will be visible, because I had to open it in a private account, this registration. So we will select a language, it's English, first name, let's say. Fictional mobile phone. Okay, as you can select company if it's a company course. And we click send. And now, as you can see, there is this this test that I should fulfill. I will click some random buttons without really checking and finish. Okay, we can close this window at the moment. And here in the Secretariat, you can see my registration as a new student. You will see my test results, not very good. And you can easily move me to active students, and you can also assign me to some classes. So it can save you a lot of time thanks to that some students, for example, in this company courses, they will do a registration on their own. And another thing that I think can be really important in your next in this year is CRM. I think it might not be obvious how much you need this tool because as we know, we live in the times when someone can get sick suddenly and disappear for weeks sometimes at the time. And you don't want to have knowledge about your business in notebooks and in memory of some of your employees. So, and sometimes people just change work. So here in the CRM, you will have all your students. So if you finish some course, you can move your student to the archive. So they are no longer active, but they simply exist in this list as archived student, but you can still assign to them some tasks because maybe you want to remind them with your offer, or you have some you make this arrangement with them that you will call them in a year to ask about something or invite them to join your course again. So you have all those students, and you have these people from the company. So there's this, for example, HR person from the company. So you have all those people, and you can, on the timeline, they can add some activity. So for example, it will be a call about meeting. Okay. And you select the date, you can select the time, and you can also assign it to one of your employees, for example, if you don't want to do it on your own. So then you will have all those tasks in here. I have some filters. And you will be able to see what you should do, basically. So it's really important because it will be out of the memory of people. It will be in some kind of the system. So it's a simple tool that will help you to develop your business much better. And we will go to your questions for a second. So I will stop sharing my screen. And if there are some questions, I can answer. Would it be possible to combine the registration? With the e-contracts, well, I think that it would be best to contact with our support, but I think that there's no such possibility. It's only that you can, if they use emails, you can just send them a link to the registration process, I think. Okay. So I think it will be, yeah, but if they don't use, no, I hope that they do use emails. So yeah, registration. Yeah, but maybe we will find some other solution for you. It's always, I strongly encourage you to contact with us about your issues, because we will think for a second, and hopefully we will find some solution that you can use, maybe we will think a bit outside of the box if it's possible. And sometimes it's maybe we will find some information. So I'm really would like to thank you for finding this time. I hope you saw something that will interest you. And if you would like to contact with us, just go to our website. There's a place to sign up for a free trial. You can sign up for a live demo. So during this live demo, we can talk about very specific details, because I know we are all in the same business, but each school is a little bit different. So we can talk about how you, for example, plan your courses and how you settle for them, and we can talk about this, and we can show you how you can use the system to make your life a little bit easier. I hope that you will have an amazing year, and because that's what we all want. We just don't want to do a lot of paperwork. We just know that it's something that has to be done, but with hopefully minimal time consumption and effort. And we want to have some headspace to think about developing business, teaching if it's your passion, and you want to have this time to do this. So thank you very much. And if you want more information, just go to our website, langlion.com, and you will find contact and information about us and with us. So thank you. Bye.